So recently I made a video about manager delusion and how managers can sometimes be not fully and mentally there and how annoying that can be. So I created a list this time of managers who do this and do that. I'll try not to make this video extremely long, but I make this list off of instances that I have witnessed and been through. So the first one is managers who are insensitive to death and sensitive to death, like when their employees go through like they're mourning somebody in their life, whether it's their dad or their grandma or a fucking friend. I remember seeing my manager at my first job, the amount, like the weird ways that I especially heard about this. The way I heard she responded to when an employee was going through like a death in the family or something like that, and therefore they weren't like fully up to par. They weren't working their usual like performance, and that's normal. And something I emphasized last video, even with my own experience of coming to work sad, is like a lot of us have to go to work when we're fucking pissed off, we're sad as fuck, we want to cry, and we have shit going on in our lives. I remember like hearing from a coworker of mine that the way my manager had responded to another coworker who was mourning a family member was that, "Oh, well, people die every day." Yeah, no shit, but when it's someone you know, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Managers like this, I feel like, are very far gone, or maybe they just don't know what mourning a person feels like. I mean, I don't know what mourning a person feels like. I've only mourned animals, but it's like, God, I feel like I would still empathize. I could understand how that feels if you lost someone in your family or someone you were really close to. But yeah, managers like that, I feel like, are very far gone and very insensitive and nonchalant. They're very insensitive and just, I don't know. It's like, do you even have a fucking soul? The next one is managers who can't train new people. And what I mean by can't train new people is not that they maybe suck at giving instructions, but they can't tolerate someone who's learning the ropes. And I don't think these people should be fucking training. I don't think any manager or supervisor should be training somebody, and you cannot tolerate someone who's going to make mistakes. It's a new job. Like, have you never started a new job in your life? Like, when you first came to this job, were you not fucking terrible at most of the things that you did? Did it take you a while to, get used to your job? Like, me personally, it takes me like 3 months to get used to my job. I remember my manager, same manager at this first job of mine. Ooh, mind you, this job that I worked at, just like I said, it was a coffee shop. And it's a coffee shop that you probably know very well. And learning every role in this job takes a while. Even after being at that job for a year, there were still new things I was learning every fucking week. It's a lot. There's like 7 different positions that you can work in a shift. Sorry that I don't know everything. I just got here on Monday. One of the positions that you could be in was called customer support. And customer support to me was probably one of the hardest, aside from drive-through bar. Um, Basically, you have to do like a lot of restocking. You have to refill bean hoppers. You have to get new sanitizer for the bars. You have to also take orders. You have to sweep. You have to sometimes deep clean. Like, you have to do a lot. And when it's a rush, like when you're during like your in peak, it is a lot. And especially for me, like when I was doing that and I had to stop and take an order, it was bad for me because I lost my train of thought. But anyway, I remember when I first started this job and I didn't understand how to brew like the dark roast and the blonde. Like, I didn't understand because there's 5 spots for the coffee, and what I thought was you need 2 dark roasts, 2 pike plays, and 1 blonde. But what I didn't understand and what I she didn't really emphasize to me is that no, you're not supposed to have every single like spot filled with brewed coffee. You're supposed to really have like 1 for each type of roast, and then like 2 open for when you like, you know, when you need to brew a new batch of pike or replace one and the coffee is getting like is not warm or hot anymore. I hate people, especially managers who talk to you in a condescending tone, like you're supposed to know everything. It is one of my biggest fucking pet peeves ever. Like, I remember the way she talked to me like I was stupid, and I literally like wanted to fucking cry. I think I did cry. I think I did cry because I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to do. I have no idea. But this is what partially discourages new employees from staying at a job. Like, if you have people who treat you like a dumbass when you're learning, how the fuck, why would you want to stay there? you know. But it was something I got through. This was my first job. I cried quite a couple times with that job, but at this point, it's like fucking clockwork to me. Managers who are bipolar. And maybe I shouldn't say bipolar because I don't literally mean bipolar, but what I mean is like they be having the craziest fucking mood swings ever. Have you ever dealt with a manager who's nice at one moment and then the next moment they're a complete bitch and you're like, did they get bad news? Did they stub their fucking pinky toe? Like, is there a tree up your fucking ass? What is wrong with you? You were nice like 2 seconds ago. It's very confusing because with people like that, and even with like the people who can't train new people and talk to people condescendingly, it's like it feels like you never know how they're going to react to things. So it feels like you have to tiptoe around them. It feels like you have to second guess yourself on what you do, but especially what you say because they're a ticking time bomb. I hate people like that. And I get it. Shit happens in life and maybe we go back and forth with our emotions, but if that's how you are like all the time, best believe I'm gonna try to avoid you as much as possible. Managers who can't enforce rules. This is a huge one. Huge one. I don't like managers who all of a sudden enforce rules that didn't exist or were already there. Now, with the ones that are already there, it's like, why aren't you consistently enforcing this rule? Like, why are you just now enforcing this rule that's always existed? Now you want it set in place and you're extremely inconsistent with it. And then the next time someone like breaks that rule, you don't say anything about it until it's somebody else specifically who's breaking that rule. And you're like, oh no, you're not supposed to do that. But I'm thinking like, but Sally over there, like, she didn't do that. Why are you just telling me that I'm breaking the rules? She broke the rules yesterday. You were there. You saw it. You were talking to her. It doesn't make any sense. Or even with new stupid rules. I can't give an example of a stupid rule, but some rules are just sometimes I feel like managers and stuff create like very like insignificant rules to restrict their employees and to punish them for no reason or for some reason, but it's like they won't even communicate with their team as to like what the problem is. They'll just do really stupid things. And I don't like that. That makes you a bitch to me. And I don't know. I just think it's really weird how they do that. Managers who are still in high school. I don't mean managers who are in high school. I mean managers who are grown fucking adults and act like they're in high school. They act like children. Maturing is realizing, like, you want to know the wonderful thing about adulthood. You think that when you graduate high school, people act like adults, like people are mature. But what you realize, especially in the workplace, is that the workplace is just high school, but with adults. It's sad, but it's true. Really sad, but it is very, very real. And sometimes managers thrive off of drama. Like they thrive off of drama. They thrive off of like, look, I like tea like almost any day, but they like literally thrive off of like maliciously gossiping about people, being fake in people's faces, talking behind people's backs, turning people against each other. It is one of the weirdest things ever. It's like you are literally here running a store or managing people and then you have this time to cause drama between your team and just make it like not a cool, chill, safe work environment. Like have you guys ever dealt with that? I did more at my first job. My other two jobs, not really, but it's a weird thing to witness. And it's very interesting for me too because I'm the kind of person, I'm very quiet. I'm usually very quiet, like, especially when I'm at a new job, like, I'm a very quiet person, you know? But the funny thing about being a quiet person is that people will just tell you things. People will just tell you things. You didn't even ask them to tell you about it. Like, especially if there's drama going on at work, you're just existing and they start telling you things, you're just like, you're just listening. And you're responding like, oh, really? Like, you know, now I'm not a very messy person. Like, I don't like drama like that. If someone tells me stuff about things at work, you know, I'll listen to them. I'll keep it in mind, especially if it has to do with my manager or if it's some bullshit going on and I want to avoid it or I feel like I should be cautious about things. But I'm not going to like also tell a bunch of people's business in the workplace. That's messy as fuck. Why would I do that? You know, it's very weird when drama's going on, like really petty drama, especially when it's coming from your manager or like your leads or your supervisors. It's like you're an adult. How do you have time to do this? Do your job, bro. Next thing is favorites. I hate this a lot. At my second job, and this is what made me start job searching as well. When managers have favorites, it's like kind of don't have a chance. You don't have a shot. Unless you want to suck up to your manager to become the new favorite and then get your benefits and privileges, I don't think there's a point in it. So at the second job that I had, which was at a cosmetics store, there was the whole credit card selling thing, which I talked about in my last video, and I don't like the whole credit. I don't ever want to sell a credit card again. I think it's stupid, and I think there's like a lack of reward that employees get for it because usually the managers get the fucking bonus for it. It's just pointless to me. The credit card numbers were one thing I think with that job, but I feel like another job was like there was favoritism, and it's like I really wanted to progress because I really love makeup. Makeup is something I've been passionate about for basically a decade of my life at this point. But no matter how hard I tried, no matter what I did, no matter how much I came into work when they asked me to, or tried to enhance my knowledge about skincare and makeup and go above and beyond for customers, which I always try to do that. It's like if you're not a favorite or if you're not best friends with the managers, you're probably not going to get anywhere. So one of my coworkers at this job, she told me that she was supposed to get like a cashier lead position, but because one of the Prestige Beauty Advisors brother and they were friends with one of our managers, like because they were all close, this manager decided to give him the cashier lead position and he didn't even get interviewed for it. And this coworker and I had a really long conversation about a lot of the issues that went on at this job, but favoritism was definitely one of them. It hinders you, it holds you back. If there's favoritism in your workplace, don't even fight it unless you want to, but I just think it's pointless because they're not going to see you. They're not going to see you unless you bend over backwards, and that's fucking humiliating. You shouldn't have to do that. Things should be fair, but that's not always the case. And I hate managers who are like this as well, even with hours. Like, if a manager likes certain people more than others, they're going to give them more hours too, maybe, and they'll give you less hours. They won't give a shit about the things that you have to pay for in your life. It's honestly really fucked up and unfair, and that shit should be investigated. But anyway, managers who are bullies, don't like these people. I don't. Um, who target people and try to push people out of the work environment. Mainly saw this with my first job. I'm telling you guys, for a first job, like the minute I fucking graduated from high school, I saw a lot. I witnessed a lot. And it showed me really like how the workplace can be and often is in the corporate world. And I feel like I've seen this at about like all three jobs that I've been at, where my manager or one of my managers is purposefully rude to someone that I work with for no reason. At my first job, it was one of the fellow baristas, and she was very sweet. I loved that girl to death. I loved her. Like, I really missed her too. Like, she was really fun to work with. We vibed. Like, there was no reason to be mean to her. She came to work. She didn't. She, told, like, called in and whatever. Like, she did her best. But my manager, for some reason, did not like her. And neither did my supervisor. And I called them evil stepmother and evil stepdaughter. I don't know what it was. And I remember hearing the supervisor, like, when I was at a shift one day and this coworker wasn't there, but like, I remember her talking to another supervisor that I was friends with, saying, like, I don't know why she doesn't like me. I love it when people are self aware. What do you mean, like, I don't know why she doesn't like me? You're a fucking bitch to her. You bully her. You target her. It's no wonder she doesn't like you. She doesn't like to be around you. It's no wonder she fakes when she's around you. She's not the only one who fakes it. And maybe that's another point I can talk about. But that was one. And then at my second job at the cosmetics store, I remember this one girl who, I mean, she was sweet also. Like she was really nice and whatever, but I don't know why, but my managers did not like her. And they lied to her about things that I'm just like, girl, they told me something different. I don't think they're telling you the truth on that. And even at my current job, like I've seen one of my coworkers, like she's told me about the way she's been treated. It's like I feel like they don't want me here, but they want me here. Like very mixed signals and very just weird behavior. And I feel like when managers do this, they try to purposefully push people. Like I feel like it's a power trip mainly, but I feel like it's also to try to push people out on purpose, which is weird because especially if you're in a busy work environment and you need all the people you can get and you have this strong worker, like why would you want to get rid of them? It's stupid. But one more thing that I thought of, the source of the problem to why no one like stays in a work environment or why there's such a high turnover rate. And I mean, aside from the job description or maybe how difficult the job is, I mean the managers. They're the problem. Them or supervisors or leads. What's even more annoying about this is that they don't seem to understand that that's why no one stays at their store. Because you're a bitch. Because you're a witch. You're evil. I like I said, I love it when people are self-aware. You know, I've seen so many people come and go at the job that I worked at. A lot. And yeah, maybe it's because it's retail and customer service slash fast food and stuff like that. And maybe that's just a normal thing. But when I tell you that it's usually because of a manager, usually because of a manager, it's like, how are you going to fuck your business in the ass so bad? How are you going to fuck your business in the ass so bad? Managers really go off of a power trip. And it's like, because I'm the manager, like, yeah, you have more like, power in a sense and authority because you're higher in the hierarchy, the the rank of the company, but like that doesn't mean you get to be insensitive to people and be rude to people and act like a fucking teenager who's in high school and be a bully, you know? But the thing is, the people like that, they often get promoted. Like I remember watching, I don't know if it was Leo Skeppy or somebody else, but I think he said like bad people, mean people get places. Like they get places. If you're nice, you don't get anywhere. And not to say that you can't be a nice person and not succeed, but it's like people like that, that's what the world tends to favor and even in companies and stuff like that, you know? It's a facade, like it's a mask. They act nice but they're not. That's it for this video. Um I said I wasn't going to make it long, but here we are at 20 minutes. I'm going to cut it down as much as I can, but really though, like managers can really be delusional and pieces of shit. And I don't know. I feel like we've all experienced this. And if you're not in the workforce yet, you're going to eventually. It's sadly the reality of being an adult and working. You're always going to deal with people like this, whether it's a manager or another coworker who's on the same level as you, a lead, a supervisor, maybe even a fucking district manager or regional manager that you have to work around a lot or that like functions like this. If you understood experience related to anything that I said, let me know. Till my next video, whatever I talk about.